Every day, this guy would secretly practice his grip strength in the classroom, thinking nobody would notice his training. But little did he know, a female classmate had been watching him the whole time. Whenever the girl tried to strike up a conversation with him, Shadow would deliberately get her name wrong on purpose. You see, he'd been obsessed since childhood with the idea of lurking in the shadows and hunting from the darkness. In his mind, true strength wasn't about easily overpowering enemies with raw power, it was about staying hidden behind the scenes, stepping in at just the right moment, and then unleashing overwhelming force that completely destroys everyone's expectations of who the real powerhouse is. To reach this level, he'd been training his body like crazy since he was a kid, trying to push human limits to the max. He'd even work out his grip strength during class. To keep people from noticing him, he'd disguise himself as just another background character every single day, which is why he'd always mess up his female classmate's name on purpose. But then one day after school, his classmate got kidnapped by some thugs, and Shadow happened to witness the whole thing. Finally, his moment had come. He dropped the weights from his hands, put on a mask, and climbed up to the rooftop through some pipes. With the confidence of a true badass, he appeared right in front of the criminals. One of the thugs freaked out and was about to pull out a gun, but Shadow was way faster. He threw a knife that knocked the pistol right out of the guy's hand. But Shadow wasn't done. He lunged forward and took the thug down. When the other criminals saw this, he actually threw his gun away too. But this wasn't surrender. This guy wanted to go toe-to-toe with our protagonist. He pulled out a knife and attacked Shadow, but Shadow easily blocked it with a steel pipe. He effortlessly knocked the weapon out of the thug's hands, which really ticked the guy off. The criminal started throwing punches at Shadow, and seeing that his opponent was just playing defense, the thug's attacks got more and more aggressive. Finally, he landed a kick that sent Shadow flying. The thug was pumped, thinking he'd won the fight. But what he didn't realize was that this was all just Shadow's warm-up. Shadow launched his counterattack and took the guy down with just one move. After untying his classmate, Shadow vanished without a trace. But he was actually pretty disappointed. Just dealing with two random thugs had drained way too much of his strength. He was still nowhere near becoming the Shadow mastermind he wanted to be. He decided he needed to amp up his training to get even stronger. However, the very next day, Shadow got hit by a truck and died on the spot. In the afterlife, he couldn't help but reflect on how fragile the human body really is. No matter how many fighting techniques you master, you can never achieve the kind of godlike power that protagonists have in novels. Even if you could train your body to absolute human limits, there are still things in this world that no human body can withstand, like nuclear weapons. But what shocked him was that his soul didn't just disappear. Instead, he was reborn into a world where magic actually exists.